Did you hear that? Did you hear that? How am I just stabbing myself with this? Hi friends, it's Victoria. Hope you've been well. Hope you've been doing things that fill up your cup and make you feel good. I am here with another video, and I guess I should have labeled this like a series because it is somewhat of a series now. But if you watched my last two videos, you'll know that I have been putting together a costume to do Wednesday Addams. And by the time this video comes out, I probably will have already gone to Fan Expo and met up with some other wonderful people who are cosplaying as Wednesday in the Addams family on Sunday. So I'll probably be sharing that content with you at some point. I don't know if it'll be before or after this video. But today is a really exciting day. So I'm gonna put you down because my arm is starting to hurt from holding this. So give me 1 second and I will be right back. Okay? Hold on 1 second. Don't leave. I promise. I'll be right back. Don't leave.
Hello everyone, it is VoiceOver Victoria. So a little background here, I made this portion of the video months ago and noticed that I didn't break down for you what exactly I was doing here. So to give you a little bit of background, I actually thrifted a bunch of items from ThredUp to make my Wednesday dress. So they were having a deal where I could get items for $4, and so I went through and looked for fabrics online that I thought would be useful to creating the Raven prom dress. So you'll see here I had a couple dresses that I plan to thread rip and use different pieces of to create the dress, along with shirts and materials that have that very thin organza type material. I also got a top that has that nice thick black collar with the sheer print there to use. So that is really what I am talking about here. Again, just to give you an idea of the dress that I'm referring to, it is this black dress from her viral dance video here. Outside of that, I did also thrift a belt to put on the middle because she does have a belt around her waist. So that is everything that we had thrifted in order to make this dress without actually getting new materials for it.
Okay, so here are our main pieces that we have here. This is going to be actually on the inside, so realistically we're going to take this top part of the skirt here and put it on top like this. And remember, we will have the black belt, which I'll grab. So this will be like the first layer here. So this will be the first layer, and I've decided I think I'm going to keep this as two pieces just to make it easier to transport and put on and all of that good stuff. So I'll have this be the longest layer. I'm going to stand up here so you can get a good idea. So this is the skirt here. So if you remember that dress we had, there was a top piece that was pretty much just this I guess thin like tulle kind of material, organza or whatever it's called, material here, and so it was all the top piece. I took all of that off and broke the skirt up just by thread ripping. And then if you remember, there was that dress that we talked about, so I took the bottom of that dress to give the dress more length for the skirt, so you can see that here. And then if you remember our top, so we have the top, I took the sleeves off, and I'm gonna have a black tank top that I put underneath and then put that above it. And then as I showed you over here, I've basically got a bunch of fabric that's seam ripped and ready to be used to put on 4 layers. So here is like a sleeve, so this will give you a little bit better idea. So here's a sleeve of one of the dresses, and you can just see it here as we kind of pin it on there, and just imagine it more bunched up. But so like that, And really, if you look at it laid out, you can start to see the design of the dress, and I'm pretty impressed with how well it's coming together. So pretty much now what we have to do here is take this extra fabric we've got here and figure out how we're going to layer this across this fabric here to give it that look that the dress has in the show. So hello, it is the next day. So I had a hip hop class to go to yesterday after we checked in, but I did do one thing, which I will show you what I did. So let me just put you someplace where you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So hold on, let's come over here. Come on. So as Pumpkin is demonstrating here, you'll see I've attached these two pieces. I haven't sewed them yet. I went ahead, so we'll come down next to Pumpkin. So I've pinned the skirt of the one dress inside of this skirt to add length to it and also to give it a tiered effect. So next thing I'm going to do here is actually stitch this in. I think because this is so thick and I don't really have a great sewing machine at the moment, is I may hand stitch this. I think that's probably what's going to make the most sense. But that is my update for now. I will get started on stitching and get to work.
Hello, so I am back primarily because I really got to crunch time when it came to creating this dress. So I did not spend much time talking to the camera anymore because I really needed to focus on getting everything completed before I went to Dragon Con. So I thought I would just walk you through some of the things that I did here and how I got to my final product. So what you see I'm doing here is I'm actually pinning the layers of those shirts and leftover pieces of the dresses that I seam ripped and adding those layers onto the dress with pins. I will say this was pretty difficult to do with just pinning because the fabric was so sheer that it kept slipping out as I would lift it up. I'd also like to point out that A, my voice is still a little gone because I just got back from Dragon Con a couple days ago, and B, that circle that you see on my back is actually from cupping. So you might see it in a couple of the videos I got cupped there. But as you can see, I'm going through the layers and attempting to just assemble and get a good idea of how I want the dress to look, while also taking a gander at the reference photo to see if I was getting the silhouette I was looking to get. About halfway through the sewing process, I realized that I wasn't getting the draped look that I really wanted for the dress. So I started actually cutting pieces, making them smaller, so I would be able to take them and sew them into the inside layer of that top skirt that we discussed. So there was the long bottom skirt in the middle, and then there was the top skirt from a separate dress. And I would actually stitch these smaller pieces down in kind of like a handkerchief form to give the layers that body and that draping look that you see in her dress. it might not be super clear from these clips, but I actually had quite a bit of difficulty sewing the layers onto the dress using this sewing machine. I ended up having to seam rip most of what I sewed on the machine and go in and hand stitch everything, which when I had about 20 or so pieces by the end of it that I had to hand stitch, it was definitely getting down to the wire and was making me very concerned about what the skirt was going to end up looking like. But I'll be honest, once I got a hang of it and came up with some pretty creative ways to get a good look at it, it worked out pretty well.
As you can tell, I'm not a professional sewer.
More allergic than me.
Oh!
Insurance options, maintenance, and
So much.
are always included.
Oh, careful, careful. Don't pull. Oh, going to say hello. Thank you. Give the people what they want, pumpkin. Hello. Here is a makeshift, what are the words? Mannequin? My makeshift mannequin. Let me back it all up for you so you can really appreciate the ingenuity. Okay. Isn't she a beaut? Here, we'll bring her on out here. So this is my computer chair where I've now put this skirt on here. I know what you're thinking. This is the bottom of the Wednesday dress. Yeah, I'm thinking that too. It's a process. We're not sure, but we are trying. So what we're currently doing is, you see how there's like these pleats? I'm pulling them up to give this just a little more body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. Anywho, give me a little more body. So it looks like that. See it on the back side? Still not sure if it's like quilty enough. Is that a word? Cinched? It's cinched enough. Maybe I gotta re-cinch her. But so I have these two corners left. You know, do something a little like that, maybe? You know? I don't know. It has been a challenge. We are doing our best right now. Doing our best. But all of this is thrifted materials. So, you know, nothing is consistent. Which, you know, has its own charms, I suppose. But that's what we're doing right now. Oh, my goodness. Excuse me. That's what we're doing. I think I need a snack. And then we're going to come back to this. And then we have dance class tonight. So we'll probably have to take a pauses. But that's what we're working on. I'm hoping to get this skirt done so I can work on the top and have my Wednesday dress done. Yeah.
So after I left you and my beautiful desk chair mannequin, I was actually able to finish the last bit of that skirt. So the following evening, I set out to finally get to the top. So the top was honestly a little easier than the skirt just because there wasn't as much fabric to mess around with. So it was a lot easier to pin things, figure out where things would go, and then be able to actually sew it. So the top only took me one night, whereas the skirt was done over a period of probably like 2 weeks. Now, granted, a lot of this dress was seam ripping at first, which took quite a bit of time, where I had somewhere between 7 to 8, maybe more, different items to seam rip completely before I actually started constructing the dress. But fortunately, again, with the top here, I was actually able to use the sewing machine a lot more to put items on there because it was a lot smaller and I was easily able to maneuver the shirt and get the fabric underneath there.
The fact that this doesn't bother you is so interesting. It's very interesting, honestly. Hello, Victoria here. I wanted to create an outro to this video because, if I'm being honest, I finished the Wednesday dress merely a night or two before I had to leave for DragonCon. So I didn't finish it up. I didn't show you anything from when we finished it. So I thought I would wrap this video up just with a few thoughts about how this whole process went and some pictures from DragonCon. So I did pack the outfit. I did wear it at DragonCon. I had a ball. It was actually super light and comfortable. I went to parties, I walked the convention hall, I took pictures. I just had a lot of fun in it, and only one piece of the dress came off at the very, very end of the night when we went into the Uber. And I think that was partially because I kind of like yoinked it because I got stuck in the door, but that's fine. So overall, what did I like about this dress? I really thought, considering how stressed I was about it, that it came out pretty good. Everyone understood what I was going for. It had the general silhouette of it, and it held up even though it was a bunch of reused fabrics that I had seen ripped and kind of Frankenstein together, which I guess is pretty apropos for like a Wednesday dress. I would have liked to have had more body at the bottom. I would say I thought the top turned out really, really well and it gave that silhouette, but the bottom kind of laid flat, whereas her dress has a bit more of a wispiness. It's not like super out, but she's also able to move it around and get some really good flow at the bottom, and I don't think mine had that same ability just because I had to drape the fabric and almost like bunch it and sew it so it would hang kind of like a handkerchief sort of mentality to give it the appearance of that. I also feel like I wish I had like one more top layer that I could have added to the top that was more sheer, that would have given it a more flowy look. The only other complaint I had was the belt. So I put an extra hole in the belt, but then for some reason it still was a little too loose. So I felt like it flopped around a little bit. And I think when I wear this for Halloween, I will go ahead and put maybe another belt loop in there. And then also have some kind of like fabric tape to make sure that it sticks to the side and isn't like flopping around. I used the bobby pin while I was at DragonCon. But really, for a dress that I completely made out of clothes that I thrifted off of ThredUp, I am extremely, extremely happy with this costume. I felt so proud of myself for constructing this, and also constructing this without creating additional waste, because that's something I worry about when creating costumes. I'd like to create them sustainably. So I am very happy with this dress. I hope that you enjoyed all of these fun photos. I cannot wait to wear this for Halloween. Hopefully it'll be a little cooler, and maybe I'll do some more fun things in the dress and add a couple things to it as well. But I am really happy, and thank you so much for following me through this video. I know it was a little haphazard along the way, but honestly, I was doing so much traveling and so many other things that I was just working on this dress whenever I had a chance, and sometimes I didn't talk to the camera or really give you an idea of what I was doing. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for my DragonCon video. That should be coming up really soon. I'm excited to walk you through that and talk through that, and I'm also probably going to do a separate haul video because I have a lot of goodies to share. So until then, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!